Hello? Yo, can you hear me? I've been calling on you all day. Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, I get that was kind of dramatic, but that's usually how I feel whenever I know I'm not in alignment and I'm freaking out because I cannot receive guidance. My friends, the time has come for you to stop feeling like you are lost at life and that there's no hope for you. I want you to know, if you're here right now, you are meant to hear this message because you cannot perceive anything you are not the vibration of. And so if you've been feeling lost, if you've been having a hard time following your intuition, I want you to know that regardless of how you feel right now, your intuition is always guiding you and always giving you the exact answers you need to hear in order to get you to that next step, that next level in life, that next move, that next place of happiness, fulfillment. So in order to hear your voice, you must be able to allow yourself to receive. Okay. And the thing is, if you've been living feeling lost for a while, you've been living in doubt, you have triggered yourself and you've programmed yourself in a pattern to basically dismiss your first thought, dismiss what intuition tells you, dismiss anything that might seem like anything that's not crazy logical. If anything seems out of the line, your brain's like, oh no, too much risk, we can't do it. So by doing this and having that kind of reaction to life, you shut down your intuition and you shut down everything it's trying to tell you all day long. And so, number one, if you are someone who feels lost right now and you're having trouble tapping into your intuition, listening to yourself, you want to first get grounded and remind yourself that, hey, the universe is working for my benefit. I need to acknowledge all the negative toxics I have in my brain right now, become really conscious of my thoughts, because my thoughts are telling me no, don't do this, blah, 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 blah. And as long as I'm in that fearful negative state, I'm not going to yield the results I want. So number one, I must get into a grounded, neutral state first before I can begin to raise my vibration and then receive inspired action and actually hear my intuition. So that's number one. Once you are in that grounded state and you're back to a level of, okay, I can actually trust. I know I was just thinking illogical and just really negative. I'm back to a neutral place. I can trust. It's all good. You will then start to receive answers. Now, what stumps people up is sometimes intuition doesn't always seem logical. And when you're in a life or death or a really emergency situation, your logical brain is operating on overtime. It's trying to figure out everything. It's and so anything that might seem crazy or out of the lines, you're going to want to dismiss it because you're I got no time to waste, blah, 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 blah. But remember, my friends, your intuition and your inner being will never let you down. So another thing to remember is that your intuition and your inner being is always going to give you the answer that it gives you is always going to be the very first answer. So whenever you get down into that grounded state of being where you are okay, I'm neutral, I can now allow and trust things to come, the very first thought you have is going to be your answer. And what happens is most people cannot hear the very first answer. They hear the second, third, fourth answer because they're so much in the pattern of dismissing thoughts time after time after time. So really the key into really strengthening your intuition and listening to your inner being is developing that level of trust again with yourself. Developing that level of trust that, hey, I can trust myself. I might have made a couple of mistakes in the past, but if I ever did an action that I thought was the right move, it just simply was because I wasn't in alignment. And I know that sometimes it's a process and that maybe I have to mess up sometimes in order to get it right, but I'm willing to work to get it right than to completely know for a fact I'm going to get it wrong at each and every single time. So I'm willing to start back over. I'm willing to get grounded, trust, and then receive the very first answer that comes in my head and act on it. So the thing about that is whenever you just the patterns of dismissing thoughts, whenever you act on the very first thought or you take action on the very first thought, you are then training your brain and you're training your body to make that a pattern to act on your impulses and do the things that you feel inspired to do and listen to that inner guidance system. And the more you do that, the more you'll realize that, like, hey, I'm not spending so much time, deciphering between decisions, making me feel undecisive. I'm not spending a bunch of time weighing out different options, and I'm not spending a bunch of time feeling uncertain because I'm going against my own guidance system. As long as you are it's very simple. It's easier said than done, but I'm just kind of rehashing through this video because it's very simple. All you want to do is get into a grounded state, remind yourself and get open-minded that, hey, the universe is for my favor. I'm open to receive. I'm going to dismiss anything negative, and I'm open to receive. You're going to receive as long as you are in that flow of being. And when you do the very first thing. Do the very first thing. Do it time after time after time. And you'll realize that you are literally you then become, I always say, the magician, because you will think it, you'll do it, and then like magic will come out of it because you are acting on inspired action every single time, and the divine power will never let you down. So if you're someone who struggles with getting grounded, if you're someone who struggles with listening to that inner voice, as always, I'm going to drop the Daily BLIVE Checklist for you guys to grab. It's absolutely for free for you guys, but it's something you'll want to be doing daily, or anytime you feel flustered, ungrounded, just not in that right flow state of being. You want to grab that checklist out, at least do one of the items off there, because it's going to lift your vibration up to then allow what we talked about here on this video. So that's going to be here in the description for you guys, because what's important to know is that all is possible whenever you have a calm, clear mind. Whenever you have a calm, clear mind, you are then able to listen to that inner guidance system, which is going to give you exactly what you want every single time. Every single time, my friends. Every single time. I cannot stress it enough. So I know, like I said, if you're someone who time after time after time, you felt like you just couldn't act on something because of past decisions, realize that's just conditioning, it's programming, it's not really you, it's just the way that your body's been triggered. And as long as you begin to reverse that, you can then speed up your manifestations. You can then get the results you want. You can stop living confused, feeling lost, wasting time and energy. Another thing you guys can do, in addition to listening to your intuition, physically, if you're having a hard time blocking out noise, is pay attention to the signs. Your body will give you signs of intuition as well. Things like shivers. If you think a thought, or you hear someone say something and you get shivers, pay attention to that. That's a sign for you. If you walk into a room or you walk into experience, you have a conversation, it feels like deja vu, that is a sign. Or just traditionally, what the gut feeling, if you I don't know why this just feels right, or I really feel like I need to get out of here. Don't ignore those intuitional physical signs, because yes, you'll receive thoughts, but your body will also tell you stuff too. Pay attention to the way the way you feel shivers, pay attention to the way you feel excited, flusters, all of those things. My friends, I love you so much. That's all I have for you today. Make sure that you're tapping into your intuition. Stop feeling lost. Stop wasting time and energy. The world needs your gifts out here, but we cannot receive your gifts if you're not in the best place first. So use these tools. Again, the checklist is going to be in the description. Rewatch this video a couple times if you need to. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and as always, dream big, live large, and be live.